I'm Ida Joy, aka The Natural Tarot, and I wanted to come on tonight and give a few messages that have been heavy on me. Actually, this one was so heavy on me that I debated with my spirit guides in my room about whether or not I wanted to give it. Because normally, when we talk on tarot channels or speak to the collective, we're usually talking to a certain group. We're usually talking to the ones who have been hurt, who have been the victims of, who have are seeking understanding. But tonight, my first video, I want to talk to the people who cause the pain. The people who have been listed or are, and know they are, karmics. People who have made the decisions that caused the heartache and the loss and the tears and the betrayals. We are coming out currently in the last, let me see, since about 2019, we have been in this collective, hurtful, toxic kind of energy. This cycle of pain and death and etc. I'm not going to go all into it. And in that, we have some been very hurt, some have not recovered, and some are recovering and healing. But there are those, like I said, who caused it and know they caused it. Some of you don't care. You're probably not the one watching this video. You might be, just to see. But those of you who were the cause, look, I'm a little moisturized, who were the cause of a lot of the pain, some of you are feeling hurt. You're feeling remorse. You're feeling regret. You are feeling as though you know what you did. You feel like you weren't yourself, or you were who you used to be and you're not that person anymore. And you don't know what to do with this. You don't know how to handle what's going on with you. Here's what I'll say. If you were a horrible, unredeemable person, you wouldn't be watching this. You wouldn't be caring. It wouldn't be on your mind all the time. And when I say this is on your mind, some of you aren't even sleeping well, or you can't really concentrate a lot because you're always thinking about the person you did something wrong to, or the multiple things you've done wrong, or how you've been living your life, and you're ready for a change. I'm not saying this in a spiteful way or a mean way. This is coming from love. It is good that you're feeling that way, because that means there's hope for you and that you are ready to make a change in a positive direction. It is time for you to take accountability. Because like I said, we're coming out of this dark stage where a lot of people went through a lot of things. And we're going into a stage where people are reaping what they sowed in these last few years. Between 2019 and tomorrow, 2022. Some a little bit before, some a little bit out, well, not after, because we haven't reached that yet. Happy New Year. They're setting off fireworks out here. All right, so if you heard that in the background, that's what that was. We're going into a stage where people are reaping what they sowed, which means those who did the work and healed, those who started the businesses and treated people the way they wanted to be treated and put themselves out there, or just did right, they're seeing a return on their investment. They're receiving love, even if it was they thought they were going to get it from the person who betrayed them. Maybe one of you is coming in, if not from you, from others. They're getting what they are supposed to get. And the flip side is those who have done wrong, betrayed people, used people, lied, they're getting what they put out there. I'm hesitant of saying this because I don't want you to think that I'm saying this to be mean to you. I'm saying this because although there will be those who deal with the consequences of their actions, there's a limit to if you make the right decision now going forward, there's a limit to how much you will have to deal with. I don't know how else to say this without it sounding ominous, because it just sounds ominous. You know, it sounds like, ooh, something's... But the fact is, we all know how the world works. We know how the universe works. We know how energy works. It always, it doesn't stop. Energy doesn't stop. It just keeps coming. And it usually picks up momentum. And it has picked up momentum because it's been going on for a while. People have been getting away with a lot of things for a while. You'll notice in 2019, 2020, people, you saw these celebrities being exposed, and people finding out the people you thought were one way. You might even saw in your family, your friends, who was really who and what was really going on. And you were shocked about who these people were. You might have been shocked about some of your behaviors. You might have stepped into your worst self, and it may not be who you really are. And maybe you feel remorse and regret about that. So here's what I'm going to say is we're stepping into this new stage. Those who don't take accountability, those who don't want to be real about how they treated people and the things that they did, or they don't want to change, it's going to be a dark time. This is your heads up. This is your heads up, because I don't want anybody to go through bad times, hard times. We often call it the dark night of the soul. And how you handle this is going to determine if you come out of it or if it just gets worse and worse for a very long time. Some people up to 2 years or more. If you are really ready to change, you know you've done wrong, and you know that some energy, some karmic, negative karmic energy is coming in for you, there's a few steps you need to take. Step number 1, acknowledge it to you. Because part of the reason you were able to do some of the things you did, and I'm not talking about those who are just flat out mean, just flat out evil, or just flat, and it's very few people who are flat out evil or mean, right? It is very rare. It is usually coming from a place of hurt or your own trauma or your own pain that you did the things that you did, or you made the decisions you made. So step number 1 is being accountable with yourself. Even if you have to sit in a mirror, if you have to write a letter to yourself, if you have to just sit and just say out loud to yourself, look, this is what I did. I acknowledge that I hurt so-and-so. I acknowledge that I betrayed so-and-so. I acknowledge that this family member trusted me and I took money from them, or I did whatever, or I cheated on this person, or I deceived and led this person on, or whatever it is you did. Say these things out loud or write them out on paper. Admit them to yourself. Acknowledge these things. Because it's easy to walk in delusion, and it will keep you in this toxic cycle. Number 2. Now, this part may seem a little harder, but usually it's the part where you have to talk to yourself, because once you get past the talking to yourself and really being real, it's usually easier with others. Now we talk to the people who we hurt, if you can, because some may not talk to you, some may not, deal with you, whatever the reason is. If you are able to speak to someone who you know you hurt, speak to them. Acknowledge what you did again to them and genuinely apologize. What do I mean by genuinely apologize? Change. Apologize with your words and your actions. And also, and here's the most important part, apologize genuinely and unconditionally. How can you apologize unconditionally? If I come in and I apologize to you, and I accept that you either will or won't take my apology, but either way, I am genuinely sorry for what I did. I accept if you don't want to deal with me anymore, and I even get it. But just know, that I apologize. And then behave differently with other people. Because then you're putting that energy out in the world, whether they accept it or not, that you have changed, that you are different. Except that they may not be healed. They may not have done the work. They may not have forgiven you, and they may be still bitter, and they might want to say something hurtful. I don't mean let people hit you or stomp on you or walk all over you, but give that apology genuinely, without attitude, without condescending, without being like, I mean, if you don't take it, fine. I just said I'm sorry. That's it. No, that's not a sorry. That's not a sorry. I get why you're pissed off at me. I'm still sorry. And I hope one day that you can heal from what I did, because I know that what I did hurt you. It wounded you. It scarred you, whatever words you choose to use. And I respect you, and I understand that what I did is difficult for you to handle. But just know that I am genuinely sorry. And I respect your wishes of not talking to you anymore. Or I respect your wishes of that we're not friends, or we can't be together, or whatever it is that they say. If you need to talk to me, or you need to get something out, I'm here. I will let you get your closure if you need that. Okay? We can go on forever different ways of doing it, but a genuine apology does not have attitude. It does not have condescension. It does not feel like you are owed something. You only control you. You cannot control their actions or their response. And they may not have healed. They may have healed and be like, okay, I accept it and I don't want to deal with you. Or, hey, I accept it and I do want to deal with you. You accept it either way. Or they might be like, get the out of my face. Get out their face. Okay, just let it be. Get out of their face and let them be. Okay? Now, number 3. I never do. 3. That's a better, like, okay. 3. Change. Whether they get to see you change or not, change. When that karma comes back in from other directions, because it usually doesn't come from the people you put it out there to. When that karma comes back in on you from other directions, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that anxiety of, they're gonna talk to me like that. Stop yourself. Is this person presenting to me who I used to present? You know what? Let's come back and talk about this when we can speak to each other like adults. When we can be mature and not, we'll talk about this later. No. Let's come back to each other when we can actually be kind, when we can actually talk to one another. Okay? You know what? I don't appreciate how you're talking to me, or I don't like it, and I'm gone. I won't participate in this. But you don't fight them. You don't go hard after them. You don't work to pay people back. Stop this cycle. Because anything negative you put out there is what you deal with. What they put out there is what they deal with. Don't get wrapped up. You'll notice if those of you who apologize to the person is healed, they're not trying to pay you back. They're not trying to mess with you. Did you deserve? Yeah, maybe you did. You know, maybe you deserve to be treated mean. But they're not treating you mean. And they're not trying to pay you back. And they're not doing you wrong or coming over cussing you out. They probably haven't talked to you in forever. And that's the attitude that you need to take. As you deal with the karma that comes back in, that is how you lessen the time of your karma. If you're trying to get back into somebody's life and you see that there might be a way in, don't just bogart your way in. Show them that you deserve to be there. Show them that they made the right decision by allowing you back in their life in whatever form or fashion. Even if it's just as an acquaintance. When you see them, hey, how are you? This, that, and the other. I hope you're doing well. blah, 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 genuine, honest, open. Put out in the world who you now want to be. Now, those are the ones who did wrong. You were outside of yourself, this, that, and the other. Those who know what a karmic is, have heard about a karmic, and are suspecting that you might be the karmic. Those of you who deal in the spiritual world, you understand what I'm talking about. You don't always have to be a karmic. And I know you're like, well, this was part of my assignment, and I feel like this is, you know, whatever I'm doing, and blah, blah, blah. And, or I might feel like this was my soulmate, and that's why I stepped in between their relationship, or whatever you did. You don't always have to be a karmic. Part of your lesson in this lifetime, in this journey, is to stop being a karmic. If you stepped in between people who you know were supposed to be together, and I'm talking to some particular people now because I feel that eye on me, like, if you stepped in between people and you know you had no business there, or you blocked somebody from really going into their future, or you're paying people or doing little spells, especially love spells, nothing lasts forever. And we are in a time where that's coming back on you. And it's coming back so hard and so strong. I don't want it to happen to you. I know plenty of people will be like, that's what they deserve and that's what they get, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to see anybody go through that. If the divine assigned people to each other, or a certain path for certain people, and you got in the way, do you think those people are by themselves? No, they have a spirit team with them. They are protected. And they may have went through a little dark night of the soul. They may have been hurt. But now their team is mad. Their team is hurt. Their team watched their loved one go through a dark night of the soul. They watched their heart get broken. They watched them be broken. Stop. Because it's going to come back, but it doesn't have to be as hard as even what you put on them. Think about that person. It's just on my spirit. I don't even want to talk. Think about that person in which you're watching YouTube videos on how to put a love spell on, and TikTok and all this stuff on how to put a love spell on them, which is basically a spiritual Ruth B. It is the same, somebody being with you or laying with you because of some type of ritual you did. It's the same as if you went to the club and dropped something in their drink. If that was the type of person you really were, you wouldn't be watching this video. You wouldn't have made it this far because you wouldn't care. But if you feel guilt about that, I want you to think about this. The person you're with that you manipulated in any way, whether it was a ritual, whether it was trapping, whether it was whatever it was. You notice I haven't said male or female. Because in the collective, both sides are doing it. Whatever it was, when you're with that person, you never feel like they're really there. When y'all are done, they get up and they go. Or if you are laying next to them, you are so lonely while they're there with you. Because that is not where they're supposed to be. And they are blocking the person who's supposed to be with you. They are blocking the path that you're supposed to walk. But you're so locked in on, if they go, so-and-so's going to get all that I invested in them. He or she is going to get what I invested in them. They're going to go be happy with somebody else after we weren't happy together. You weren't happy together because you weren't meant to be there. And just like they're supposed to go to somebody who they're going to be happy with, so are you. And you deserve that. You don't deserve to be miserable in your own relationship, in your own home. You don't deserve to be lonely next to the person that you're holding on to so tightly. Let them go. Oh, look, my shoulders are tight. It's like tension. I'm my shoulders all the way up to my ears. It's tension. Let them go. Let them be. Something happened to you along the way that hurt you, that traumatized you. And it's time for you to do the work to heal that. The quicker you do that work, the quicker you get to your happy sweet spot. The quicker you are able to see how to get where you need to be. And most people aren't going to tell you that you deserve better. They're going to tell you all that stuff you did, you deserve what's happening to you. You deserve to be lonely. I'm glad that they don't really like you. You had to trap somebody. You know in the back of your mind that it feels horrible that the person you love and are with is only there because of something you did or manipulated. You just forget them. And I'm not saying anything bad about them. You deserve more than that. You deserve somebody who is with you because you are you. Because you deserve love. Everybody who was brought up in this video, acknowledge what you've done to you. Be accountable to you. Ask yourself for forgiveness for the things that you've done that you know are not your best self. They are not your highest self. Then ask for forgiveness for the people you've hurt. Unconditionally. Then change. Please. You don't have to always be toxic. You don't have to always be petty. You are trapping yourself in a miserable existence to spite other people instead of going out and getting what is yours. Because here's the thing that you don't know that is so beautiful. When you get what is yours, not what you think you should have or who should be, but who chooses you, who wants you, who sees you. That means friends, opportunities, lovers, marriages, whatever. We're not always just talking about romantic. When you get what is yours, it fits so nice. It feels so good. It is the most amazing thing. And that thing and that person and that opportunity or whatever it is that you were holding on to that you knew did not belong to you, you won't even think about it. You'll wonder why you ever let it go. Let it go. It is okay for the people who you thought would love you to love someone else. It's okay that they went that way because what you thought was yours wasn't yours. Let it go. This is going to sound ominous too. This is a warning. Tomorrow we step in to the new year. Start it off healing and letting go of all of this. You don't have to stay in this prison that you've built for you and whoever and whatever. Go be free. Go be happy. Don't do anything desperate or panicky. Anything that you have to walk on eggshells for, it ain't for you. Anything you gotta manipulate, lie for, it ain't for you. Let it go. I genuinely send you love. I send you healing. And understand, if you made it this far and you're even thinking about possibly changing, or this resonated a little bit with you, just a little bit, you are not a horrible person, and you can turn it all around right now. I love you. Remember, be yourself, your true self, and be safe. Happy New Year.